Hey, hey, it's midnight. That means that it's time for my midnight musings on love, a Sunday kind of love. So if you don't know the song and if you haven't heard it, you should definitely give it a listen. So this is our 8th little interlude. So, hey, hey. And our topic for today is love and time. And really, I was just thinking about, I was thinking about this phrase, love at first sight, and just whether or not that's really possible. And I never like to say never. So I will say, given my definition, it is extremely unlikely. So how much time does it take to fall in love? And it really depends on how you define love. If you're curious about my definition, go back to episode 2. But for me, the question becomes, it really is in some, is it possible to be automatically and at first sight, when you see someone once, to be willing to commit with intention, interested in them feeling good, knowing that you will feel good most of the time with them, and willing to be there unconditionally? Is that something that you can glean from that first viewing? And it really made me think more about how much is wrapped up in what we see. Bottom line, all of our beliefs and values and sometimes our hopes, we wrap up in what we see because it's how we perceive things. So everything behind our eyes, right, everything going on in our brain becomes a part of how we perceive the world around us. And in this case, someone. And ultimately, it is judging a book by its cover. And again, never saying never. There is a chance that you could be right, that the cover actually is very reflective of the book itself. But in most cases, it's going to take a little bit of time to get to the definition of love that you have. So I am going to definitely distinguish between love and lust. You can see someone and you can lust after them, for sure. But when you think about love and differentiate that from lust or a crush or anything else, there's going to be some time involved. Now you may ask how much time, and I don't think anyone can say, and again, it's going to be different, but it depends on your definition of love, and then it also depends on what things are entailed in that. I will say, honestly, I used to think that there was a minimum amount of time that you had to have. And if someone told me I love you before, I don't even remember what my younger self thought was the minimum time, but I would say, you don't love me. And I reflect on that now, and I believe that's not fair of me to say. They can believe they love me, but maybe our definitions are not the same, and so maybe for my definition it was not possible to kind of live up to that within that time frame. So I do think that's something that you got to come together on. And then there's always the challenging, I love you, and it hasn't met your definition, but it's met their definition, and then you wonder, you can't say, I love you too, because you're not there yet. So, another thing that has come up in many conversations that I've had over the years is this concept of love as when you have gone through crisis, you can know that you really love someone because you've seen how they are in those challenging moments, and you now know that you can be there in for better or for worse with them, that they are, you really can continue to be concerned about your best interest, that they, through, all of these things that can come up. And so I still do believe that crisis is a very, very valid test of how solid a particular love connection is. And you hope that you don't have to go through that, of course. It does give you a good sense as to that sort of instinctual part of people that can come out when challenging times. The heart of people usually comes out when challenging times come to the fore, so you can really see their heart. Now, because this is what we do in A Sunday Kind of Love, I've been talking about other love outside of you. Well, what about inside? So if we take this idea of love at first sight for our own self-love, what does that mean? What does it mean to love yourself at first sight? And I think it's the same thing. It takes time. And I'm going to tell you a quote that I, have come up with. And I wrote it down. The more you love what you know about yourself, the more you know about yourself and love. And that's both outside and inside. So let me say that one more time, because I'm still digesting it myself. The more you love what you know about yourself, the more you know about yourself and love. So really, love, ultimately, love takes time. And of course, investment and commitment. And that's both for ourselves and for those people outside of us. And again, it starts for ourselves. The more that we love what we know, and the more we know about ourselves and can come to love, the better we can be in love with others. And the more we can understand our definition of love and what that means, because it's going to be something that is serving us, right? When you have developed this love for yourself, you're not going to accept love from someone else that looks radically different than what you see for yourself, what you do for yourself. And that's why it's so important to find that health within in order to find that health without. To find that healthy love within in order to find the healthy love without. And that's not a guarantee. So I don't want anyone to say, I got here, but now I can't. There's no guarantee, right? We get to know people. This is all about a journey to know ourselves better, to experience life, to try things out, to kiss 99 frogs for my online dating group. And, I find it interesting because I know a lot of people like this quote from Maya Angelou that says that when someone shows you who they are, believe it. And the key thing is, what I've discovered is that what someone shows you and how you read that can be very, very different. Just to give you an example, I have an online daters group who we get together and we talk about our online dating. And one of the things that has come up is this concept of how soon after you give your phone number to someone should they call. And for some people, it's, hey, a couple days. For others, it's, I gave you my phone number, you asked for it, then you should call right away. So when you talk about this quote, I just want us all to kind of think about it and make sure that we're really understanding what it means for us. Because there is so much variation in what someone does and how it is perceived. And again, that has to do with when someone shows you something, what are you seeing? And that's all about what you have back here. Your beliefs, your values. You know, people always talk about all the time, you're going to see what you want to see. So your wishes and your hopes are also going to be projected. Your bad day might be projected. Your good day will be projected. So, again, the more you love what you know about yourself, the more you know about yourself and love. And all of that takes time. So love at first sight, question mark. It really depends on your definition, how well you know yourself, and how you open yourself to your definition of love. Take your time. Let me know your thoughts. And if you are interested in a self-love coach, contact me. Have a great week, everybody.